Hello, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about things that LegalZoom does not tell you. Now, I know it's easy for me to say I'm an attorney. I get it. There's a lot of this stuff that it's like, well, of course you're going to say that because you're an attorney. But hear me out. The important part is that you recognize that there's a reason why LegalZoom exists. And the reason why I'm not wrong, even if it is slightly self-serving. So if you're new here, my name is Taylor Darcy from Think Legal, where I help you create the business of your dreams. So welcome. I'm happy to have you. We go live every Monday through Friday, except for holidays, at 11 a.m. to answer your questions, to go over specific topics, things that you need to help your business be successful. So let's get started. So, number one, LegalZoom is actually more expensive than they're worth. What do I mean by that? So I'll just use the best example, the easiest example. An LLC from the Secretary of State costs $75, including the certification fee. Not a lot of money. When I looked it up last, and it could have changed from then until now, but when I looked it up last, LegalZoom charges you $400 approximate dollars, and then they tack on a bunch of extra stuff that you may not need. So the LLC formation part is super duper easy. Anybody that's even slightly technologically savvy these days can handle doing the LLC formation. It is not hard. When I represent my clients in LLC formations, they're not paying me to do that work. I do it for them because it makes sense for me to do everything, but that's not the cost of it. It's the legal advice that goes with it. And that's why I cost more than LegalZoom, but I give you value for your money. I can give you legal advice. LegalZoom can't give you legal advice. And so you're running this risk of you're spending a lot of money. In my opinion, that's a lot of money to spend on somebody that really can't give you any extra than to fill out forms. That's all LegalZoom does is fill out forms. It is so blessed expensive. You've got to understand that it is just insane that they would charge $400+ and they try to sell you on a lot of extra stuff that you don't need. That's the other thing, is that's how they make their money, is by charging. They'll charge you $400 for something that only costs you $75, and then their net profit is $325 or whatever their difference is. And so it's really a huge disservice to you as their potential client that they're charging you as much as they do and giving you really nothing of value, something that you could do yourself for a whole lot less money. So the next thing is they're strictly in transactional. They don't try to build a relationship with you unless they're trying to sell you something extra. So there's no relationship. And in some instances, I can understand that's fine. People don't mind that. They don't need a relationship with that type of category, or they don't want. So I understand that that's possible, but the problem is that LegalZoom does not give you that relationship. And so I don't want you to think that you're going to get the same thing as what you're getting with an attorney, and you're getting that relationship with an attorney, that trust relationship that you get. So that's number two. Number three, and this is a real kicker that bugs the heck out of me from someone that fixes LegalZoom stuff. If they make a mistake, guess who's paying for it? You are, both literally and figuratively. Not only in the time that it costs you to get it fixed, but also they don't do it for free. They don't fix it for free. It doesn't come out of their pocket. You have to pay them again to fix it, which in my opinion is total junk. I had a client that they had used LegalZoom to form an entity, to be the registered agent, all these things. and they screwed up the name of the company, and then they had to pay rather than them eating the fee. If I make that mistake, I eat the fee, right? That's my mistake. It comes out of my pocket. That's fair. Now, if you make the mistake, if you tell me the wrong name, or if then that's, comes out of your pocket. But I mean, I think that's absurd that you should pay extra for their mistake, but it happens, and it has happened. So LegalZoom is not your friend in that category because of that. And they don't tell you this when you start with them. They just look like a viable alternative to an attorney because attorneys are expensive. And I'll be frank with you, attorneys, a lot of them are, and there can be a lot more expensive. For case in point, I worked with a company that they had a contract drafted by a regular attorney, and the attorney charged over $7,000 for this contract. And it blew me away because I could not imagine paying someone $7,000 for that, nor could I imagine charging someone $7,000 for that contract. So you've got to keep that in mind that yes, attorneys are expensive, but more often than not, in those instances, I'm less expensive overall because I save you real money in the long term. It might be expensive to begin with, but it's not as expensive as doing it wrong or having to fix something that's wrong. The next reason they don't tell you is they don't actually protect you from anything. So the fact that they do this paperwork isn't the sum whole of everything that you need. There's still a lot of work that has to be done on an LLC. And again, just using that as a for instance, to get you in compliance that LegalZoom doesn't do. So you're stuck hanging out there thinking you're protected when you're not. And I get that a lot too, where I have to fix LegalZoom because of their mistakes or because they're not actually protecting you and they're just acting like they did. So it's this, you're paying a lot of money for not a lot of benefit, in my opinion. Okay. And that's huge because if the whole point of going to LegalZoom is to save money and to, fulfill the basic tenets of being saving you the attorney issue, then what? How does that work? Exactly. So I want you to think about that in the context of if they don't actually protect you, then the value of what they're doing is even less, right? All right. So number 5. And here's the crux of the difference between LegalZoom, and they don't tell you this. This is why I did this video. The crux of LegalZoom and hiring an attorney. An attorney owes their clients a fiduciary duty, which means we put your needs above we put their needs above our needs when it comes to that. We put your interests above ours when we're doing it. Now, do we get compensated for it? Yes, and that's a discussion for a different day, but the principle is the same. We have to put your needs, the client's needs, above our own needs when it comes to these types of things. LegalZoom is not an attorney. It has no fiduciary relationship to you. It can simply do its thing, whether you like it or not. And it may not actually protect you. So all of these things add up to you're spending a lot of money for not a lot of value, right? And I said that just a few minutes ago, but the principle is still the same. If you're really wanting to spend money on this, do it right. Spend the money, do it right. Make sure that it's correct because you have an attorney doing it. And make sure that you're spending your money on building these relationships and these other factors that go into starting your business. Do it right the first time, because I can't tell you how expensive it is to fix it after you've done it wrong. If you've gotten value out of this video, don't forget to hit subscribe and like. We go live every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. and we'll see you later. Hope you have a good one.